Welcome, adventurer. I'm Kristen.
And I'm Sam.
And this is our original 1982 Chevy G30 185 Mobile Traveler Tour. Our model is the 185 R2. They started manufacturing these RVs in Kansas, USA in the early 70s and stopped making them in 1988. It's about 8 feet 9 inches tall or 10 feet tall with our AC unit. It's about 18.5 feet long and 20 feet with our bumper and spare tire. The width is around 6 foot 11 inches. It's on a 127 foot, it's huge. It's on a 127 inch wheelbase. It has steel framing and a fiberglass body. The inside dimensions are height is 6 foot 2 inches, length behind the cab is 11 feet, and the width is 6 feet 10 inches. It's fully self-contained. It has a black water tank, propane tank, and electrical plug. It has a kitchen with a sink and stove with an oven, refrigerator, a couch that folds out into a bed that fits 2 people sleeping and it sits about 3, and an overhead cab sleeping area for 2 adults. The guy we bought it from bought it as a project RV and never got around to fixing it. He had a couple other project cars at his house and his girlfriend wanted this RV out of their place because he had too many projects. So we were able to talk down his original price of $9.5 thousand to $8,000 when we bought it at the beginning of March. The person before the guy we bought it from was using it to pull around an ATV and traveled across America full time to ride it. That guy kept really good care of it and had a bunch of paperwork of work that had been done on it, so it was in really good condition. As you can see, it's old and has some wear from the years, but it has a butt.
As you can see, it's old and it has some wear from the years, but it's such a good size. There's some rust on the exterior we'll have to address, and the paint isn't the freshest. The decals are faded and cracked in some places, but it still looks very cute. The seams definitely need to be cleaned up and resealed in some areas as well, and the mirrors need to be rust treated. And the window sills are looking a little old and cracked. On the passenger side, under the window, we have the hot water heater and the potable water intake. Next to the back door, we have access to the back of the fridge, the hole for the igniter, and the holder for when the door is swung open. A lot of locks on the exterior are old and rusty, so they don't open and shut the nicest. Under the door, we have a metal step that extends out and is put away when driving. To the left of the door, we have a handle and information about the RV.
On the back, there's a ladder to get up to the roof, and the seal on the top needs to be replaced and resealed. We're not sure if the back bumper is original or not, but it has some rust on the attachment points. The spare is attached to the back bumper, and it's a little wiggly and needs to be tightened. The back window seal is also peeling up here.
Now onto the driver's side. The black water tank in the back had been hit and someone did a quick patch job on it, so that will need to get fixed. And it wiggles at the attachment point, so they added this strap to keep it from moving. And right next to that, you can see the crack where they hit the bottom and the loose muffler. A little further to the front, you have the gas intake and the box with the AC adapter to plug into shore power. Then we have the city water connector for when we just want to run off the city water and not our water tank. The next compartment is for housing the battery. And at the front is the original propane tank, which is a little rusty. And right near the window is the exhaust vent for the kitchen.
On the top of the RV, we have a pretty AC unit. It's so pretty. On the top of the RV, we have a pretty new AC unit that the last guy recently installed. There's a vent for the overhead bed area up at the front, and there's an auto rack bar on the back edge. As you can see, the roof needs to be resealed and recaulked. But enough about the outside. I'm sure what you're most interested in is about the inside layout. So let's take you to the inside. We open up the door and the screen door and we're in. It's very spacious inside, even though it's nice and compact.
To the right of the back entrance, we have a big hanging closet for clothes. The guy we bought it from left this box of parts, manuals, and old receipts from the previous owner. There's also space above the hanging pole at the top. Near the bottom, you can see the rear brake lights, and we know that this one needs to be resealed because there's some water getting in through here on the rainy days.
Right next to the closet, we have the bathroom vanity area. It has a mirror and a medicine cabinet above the window. It has a small sink and some storage under the sink with original fronts and locking handles on them. All the overhead cabinets have these original rolling cabinet fronts. They're pretty hard to roll up right now, and there's storage all the way to the back side of the mirror. We have a decent amount of storage under the sink and drawers for clothes with really old and ugly wallpaper inside of them.
Right across from the entrance, we have the bathroom. The handle's a little broken, but it still works. It has a full-length mirror on the inside of the door. It has a RV toilet that goes into the black water tank below. As you can see, it's a little dirty, but the bottom looks good. There's a weird hole we found that we don't know what was there. It has screws, so we think something was mounted there. And here we have the original shower head and this weird wallpaper in the shower. There's also a little window in here to see outside.
To the front of the shower, we have the kitchen area. We have a tall spice rack on the far left side. There's a small window with a screen in here. It has all the original square light fixtures, and I believe a speaker used to be in this hole. We have 2 big overhead cabinets above the kitchen for storage. Then there's the original cooking range, which is very loud right now. And the original vintage stove oven combo that is run off the propane. The stovetop needs some love, but the oven is actually in really good condition inside. The sink next to it is a decent size, and I like that it has 2 sections. We have some drawers under the sink, and under those we have what we believe is a gas leak detector. And under the oven is a fuse box for all the electricals inside the RV.
Across the kitchen we have the fridge. Above the fridge we have our monitoring.
What is English?
We have monitoring. I can't see that one. You're gonna have to read that. Above the fridge, we have our monitoring systems for the battery, water, and tanks. It also has the switch for turning on the water pump. Under that is the original fridge. It runs off propane, AC, or DC, but the guy we bought it from said it was broken and doesn't turn on. The shelves are broken in a couple places and the rods are missing from the shelves. But that's fine for us because we plan to replace the fridge with something that can run off the solar system. Here's all the buttons that run the fridge.
To the front of the fridge, we have the couch area. There's 2 overhead cabinets, a big window with a screen, and a couch that converts into a twin-size bed. There's more square light fixtures and this really old speaker which we believe was removed over in the kitchen. The couch is really big and easily sits 3 people. We found seatbelts inside the couch, but we're not sure if those are original because they're really short. Under the couch we have a little bit of storage that can be accessed from these front doors or by lifting up the couch. There's not a lot of storage under there because it's occupied by the water heater and the 28-gallon freshwater tank. To turn the couch into a bed, you have to press these little black clips on each side, and then the back of the couch flips over it with this unique hinge system to make the bed. This folds out to what is wider than a twin XL bed. So when we have any guests, they can sleep there. And it's just as easy to put back away into a couch. And here you can see the last owner replaced all the flooring with hardwood floors. It wasn't the most precise job, and you can see some spaces where it was misaligned. Right above the couch, the guy mounted the new AC controller and a small thermostat. And here you can see that it's very low profile on the inside.
Across the couch, we have the coffee nook area. There's a flimsy shelf at the top and some exposed wire that probably didn't get tucked away during renovation. As you can see, the leather and ceiling panel needs some love as well. There's a big window below the shelf and the coffee nook. There's the weird counter with cup holders inside of it, and the bottom shelf is shipped. Next to it, we have a chair that swivels and has a seat belt.
Above the cab, we have the overhead bunk. It looks a little small, but it's actually big enough for 2 people to sleep up there. It's around the size of a full bed. And the center area actually folds up so you can have more headroom in the cab if you'd like. The bunk has 2 windows on the side and 2 front windows that used to have curtains, and it's missing a couple of curtain rods. We think the side windows also open up because they have screens on them and some kind of broken hinge mechanism that looks like it should open the windows. But we have no idea how to do that. And lastly, the basic ceiling vent that opens and closes by rotating the handle.
Next is the cab area. You can see some green carpet on the right side that the guy removed from the left side, and now there are some wood pieces exposed. The front looks pretty original and it is in pretty good condition considering how old it is. You can see in between the cab and the body where there has been some renovations done. We're guessing the mess is from when the carpet was ripped out. Let's look at the driver's side first. The steps near the doors have definitely seen some wear. The dash is really cute with the circular design, and it has all the original pedals and knobs, which gives it a cute vintage look. And these holes in the front we think held the sun risers because there's an exact same hole on the passenger side. The overhead plastic has some cracking near the screws from old age or from a renovation project. Above the window we have a radio the last guy put in the original CB radio. In the middle we have a non-helpful center console with a thin glove compartment, a small ashtray, and a 12-volt outlet. And here are what we believe are the original chairs. It's a stretched plastic material with a fake woven pattern on it. The doors have an old speaker on them, and under the dash is a lever for the food vent. And here you can see the floor mat has seen better days and is cracked in some areas. Now let's hear the motor. But first, because it's an old car, it has to have problems turning over the first time. Okay, for real this time. It's a 350 5.7 liter V8 engine with 126,000 miles on it.
Okay, let's take this thing out for a spin. And there are some things that we noticed when we were driving it for the first time.
Quiet. Remember that quietness.
The latch on one of the drawers is broken, so it slides out when we drive around right now. The front windows are definitely old and need some work. There's a little whistle noise on the front driver's side triangle window because it doesn't close and seal all the way. I guess these triangle windows having issues is pretty common. And the last thing is that the windows are a little bit difficult to roll up and down with these manual handles.
As you can see, it's vintage and there's a lot of things to fix and update, but that's the fun of getting a fixer-upper. The biggest changes we want to do are add solar, get a new fridge, and remodel the inside. In the next video, we'll talk about all the changes we're planning to do and the story on how we bought this thing.
So stay tuned for that and subscribe so you don't miss any of our uploads. Until next adventure!